It was a quiet evening in the small, sleepy town of Hollow Creek, a place where everyone knew everyone. The kind of town where secrets were few and far between, or so people thought. Among the townsfolk, there was an old legend, whispered about in hushed tones. The story of the Blackwood Manor. The house stood on the outskirts, veiled in shadows cast by towering pines, its windows like darkened eyes that seemed to watch anyone brave enough to pass by. The legend had its roots in a family tragedy from decades ago. The Blackwoods, a prominent family, had mysteriously disappeared one winter night, leaving behind a house full of untouched belongings and a chilling silence that seemed to echo through the generations. Over the years, the house became a magnet for thrill seekers and ghost hunters, but none stayed long. They all spoke of the same things: whispers in the darkness, cold touches on their skin, and a suffocating sense of dread. One evening, a young journalist named Claire decided to uncover the truth about the Blackwood Manor. She had built her career on debunking urban legends and exposing the truth behind myths. Armed with her camera, recorder, and flashlight, she set off for the manor, determined to spend the night there. Her friends tried to dissuade her, but Claire was resolute. "The only ghosts are the ones we make up in our minds," she said with a confident smile. The road to the manor was overgrown, and the crunch of her boots on the gravel path was the only sound. The house loomed larger with every step, its decrepit state more intimidating up close. The front door creaked open under the slightest push, revealing an interior frozen in time. Dust blanketed the furniture, and cobwebs draped from the ceiling like gossamer curtains. It was as though the Blackwoods had left in a hurry, never to return. Claire set up her equipment in the grand parlour, where a grand piano sat in eerie silence. The air was heavy, and the house seemed to groan with the weight of its secrets. She began her investigation, documenting everything. "The Blackwood Manor," she narrated into her recorder, "a place shrouded in mystery and fear. Tonight, I aim to uncover the truth." Hours passed, and the night deepened. At first, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Claire began to feel a sense of disappointment. Maybe the house was just an old abandoned relic after all. But then, the temperature dropped suddenly, and a chill seeped into her bones. Her breath fogged in front of her, and the flashlight flickered, casting erratic shadows on the walls. From somewhere deep within the house she heard it, a faint melody, the haunting strains of the piano playing itself. Her heart pounded, but she forced herself to move toward the sound. "It's just the wind," she whispered, though her voice trembled. The music grew louder as she approached the parlour, but as soon as she entered, it stopped. The piano's keys were still, yet the impression of fingers on the dusty surface was undeniable. Claire's hands shook as she took a photo, the flash briefly illuminating the room. That's when she saw it in the corner of her eye, a shadow that didn't belong to her. It was tall and slender, standing motionless by the doorway. She spun around, but there was nothing there. The air seemed thicker now, pressing in on her from all sides. Her recorder crackled to life, emitting faint whispers she hadn't recorded. "Get out," the voice hissed. Claire's instincts screamed at her to leave, but her curiosity kept her rooted. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice barely audible. The recorder responded with a chilling laugh, followed by silence. She decided to retreat to the upper floors, hoping to find more clues. The stairs creaked under her weight, and the darkness seemed to close in tighter. Each room she entered felt wrong, as if she were trespassing in a place where she was deeply unwelcome. In one bedroom, she found a journal belonging to the youngest Blackwood daughter. The last entry was dated the night of the family's disappearance. It read, "He comes at night, standing by the window. His eyes are hollow, and his smile is wrong. Mama says we shouldn't talk about him, but he's getting closer." A cold gust of wind slammed the door shut behind her, and Claire's flashlight died completely. Panic surged as she fumbled to turn it back on, but in the pitch-black room, she heard soft footsteps circling her. They were slow, deliberate, and too close. When the light flickered back to life, the room was empty, but on the mirror above the dresser, a message was scrawled in what looked like blood. "Leave now." Claire ran, her resolve shattered. She stumbled down the stairs, desperate to escape, but the house seemed to shift around her. Hallways stretched longer, doors led to nowhere, and the whispers grew louder, an unintelligible chorus of despair. The front door was in sight when she felt it, a cold hand gripping her shoulder. She turned, expecting to see nothing, but there he was. The figure from the shadows, hollow eyes, a twisted smile, and an overwhelming aura of malice. With a scream, Claire broke free and burst out into the night. She didn't stop running until she reached her car. When she looked back, the house was dark and silent, as if it had never come alive. But as she drove away, her recorder crackled one last time, and a voice whispered, "You can't escape." Claire never published her findings. The footage was corrupted, and the journal she brought back disintegrated into ash within days. She moved away from Hollow Creek, but the experience stayed with her, haunting her dreams and shadowing her every step. Blackwood Manor remains abandoned, its windows watching, waiting for the next unwelcome visitor.